In the previous video, we searched for a hockey player by making a hockey player that looked like the one we wanted to find, whose first names and last name matched, and then using a match for function that was written inside the hockey player class. So we asked one fake hockey player to see if it could match someone that was on the list already. It turns out that in the Java libraries, and in particular the Java list class, there already is a search function. It's got some unusual characteristics and a funny name. So here's the way that searching is done as a library function. This is lists index of function, because Canucks is a list. And index of takes that same fake hockey player like we did in the first case, and in our original code, and it attempts to find something on the list. Now index of, rather than using something that's called is a match for, actually uses a function that's called equals. So we'll write equals in hockey player rather than writing is a match for. Now the other thing that's interesting about index of is that it has an awful name. It really should be search for something that looks like, or search for something that is a match for, and then we should provide something that looks similar. The other strange thing about index of is that it gives you back the position of the item, which I suppose is why it's called index of, rather than giving you back the item itself. So if after it's found the item, it'll say I found it at position, say 3, and then immediately afterwards you have to ask the list to give the item back to you. Okay, so it's a two-stage process. In addition, if it's not on the list, then you get a -1 coming back as a position, and each one of these index ofs should really have a check, an if statement afterwards, to say if it wasn't on the list, I need to do something special. Okay, so you should always actually check to see if the -1 is there. So it's got a few interesting problems. The other thing comes along with the equals function. The equals function takes an object rather than another hockey player. And this is really consistent. All equals functions have to look exactly like this. The reason for that is that it's possible to try to match something like a cupcake against a hockey player, and then the answer is just false. So at the very next line down in equals, what you do is you say to the compiler, well, I know you gave me something, you didn't know what it was just some generic thing, but I'm telling you that it's a hockey player, so please put it into a hockey player variable. Now, this will work just like our other one did, as long as what we get is a hockey player coming in. If for some reason we got a cupcake coming in, then the program would actually die at this point, because you couldn't try to turn a cupcake into a hockey player. So that's probably a good thing.